Okay, good afternoon students. I am Kavita from Department of Psychology. Today we are going to see about memory. Memory is ability to take in information. Ma'am, slide please. Take in information and store it and recall it whenever we want. எப்படி நம்ம ஒரு கம்ப்யூட்டர்ல சிஸ்டம்ல how the computer is works. First we are feeding the information, then the same information is stored inside the computer, then whenever we want we can retrieve it. So as the computer, our human brain is also working like the same. எப்படி நம்ம வந்து first we receive information from the environment. See, the ability to retain information or a representation of past experience based on the mental process of learning or encoding and retain across some interval of time. So whenever we want, we can take up the information which was stored in your memory. Then it is a capacity for the act of remembering or the thing we remembered. Whatever we want, we can restore it and we can recall it whenever we want. So in memory we have 3 stages. Ma'am, next slide. In memory we have three stages and process. So first is encoding, second one is storage, and third one is retrieval. So what is encoding? Encoding is a process of receiving. It is a registration format. So receiving and processing and combining the information. So once the same information about anything, we'll store the information in the same brain part. Okay. Then the storage. Storage is the creation of permanent record of encoded information. So we are creating a permanent record for maybe any information like light at color, or maybe whatever the information may be, a film actor, or what type of information is restoring again in your memory. Okay. Then the retrieval process. Retrieval is the callback of stored information. Once உங்களுக்கு தெரியுமா எனக்கு தெரியல, இப்போ எந்த ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷனா இருந்தாலுமே which you are receiving the information from your environment, isn't it? So எது வழியா நம்ம we are receiving the information? Through the sensory receptors which is in your sensory organ. What are all the sense organs we have? 5 senses. Yeah, tell me, what are all the senses? Tongue. Okay. So எந்த ஒரு sensory information இருந்தாலும் we will receive the information from your environment. Okay, in the form of light, then sound, taste, then touch, feel, then odor. That is called smell. Okay. So this is the process. Okay, this is the stages of memory. Next slide. See, the encoding is the registration. So the process of receiving, processing, and combining the information. Then the encoding allows the information from outside of the world to reach our senses in the form of chemical and physical stimuli. What is stimuli? What is stimuli? What is stimulus? React பண்ண வைக்கிறதுக்கு பேர் stimuli. What is stimuli? Any information which we are getting from your environment is called stimuli. So that stimuli only help you to enter the information or anything which is present in your environment. Then in this first stage we must change the information so that we may put the memory in the encoding process. So this is the input process, registration process. Any information which is present in your environment get inside your memory. Then this encoding is transferring information into a form. It may be any form like visual, then auditory, any information which is into a form that can be entered and retained in your memory system. This process is called encoding process. Next one. Then the second stage is storage. So in the storage, the creation of permanent record of the encoded information, which you are creating a permanent record. After the information is getting inside you, you are doing the storage work. This is the secondary process, second process. So the storage of secondary memory stage or process in which we maintain information over period of time. After the storage only, the information get into your long-term memory. Then the storage is the remaining information, retaining information in memory so that it can be used at a later time. Okay. Then the retrieval or recall or recognition. So this calling back of stored information in the response to some cues for use in the process of this activity. So the third process is retrieval of the information which was stored in your memory. Whenever you want, you can call it back at overtime. Okay, later period of the time. So on the whole, the retrieval is the recovering information stored in your memory so that we are consciously aware of it. Okay, whenever we want, we can consciously take back the information whichever stored in your brain. Now next one. So in this type of processes, problem may occur at any stage. See, not only the memory, all your mental processes like attention, then acquiring the information maybe. So these all are interconnected. So when your attention is there, you can easily grasp the information and keep it in your mind. Otherwise, that will be a problematic process. You can forget the information easily. Without attention, you cannot get back the information, get back the memory which was stored. So problems can occur at any stage of this process, leading to anything from forgetfulness to amnesia. Amnesia, what is amnesia? Come on. Forgetting the information is called amnesia, isn't it? Okay. Distraction can prevent us from encoding information initially. So, if you are distracted, the information will not get inside, isn't it? The information might not be stored properly or might not move from short-term memory to long-term memory. I'll explain the process of long-term and short-term memory soon. Just a minute. Then we might not be able to retrieve the information once it is stored because of your attentional deficit. Okay, next. Next, can I move on? Yes. Types of memory. So in this memory we have three types. First one is sensory memory, short-term memory and long-term memory. What is sensory memory? Sensory memory is the initial memory which allows the input get inside your brain. Okay, the encoding process is happening here. Okay, so next slide. So sensory memory allows the individual to retain impressions of sensory information after the original stimulus has ceased. See, the function is the process for basic physical characteristics. The capacity is also large. You can hold many items at once. So there are two types of memory in this. In the sensory, iconic memory and echoic memory. So what is iconic memory? Which is visual memory. Visual memory, and it lasts approximately half a second. Okay. Then what about your echoic memory? Which is a auditory memory. That lasts approximately 2 seconds. See the difference between these two. That is half a second. This is 2 seconds. So 3 seconds for visual information, 2 seconds for auditory information. which is divided into two types. Iconic memory, this is visual information. Echoic memory, which is auditory information. So attention is needed to transfer information to working memory. See here, when you study this sensory memory, the sensory memory allows you to put the information, get inside your brain, okay, which is the encoding process is happening. Then the attention is needed. If you are very attentive and you are taking in the information, the sensory memory send this informations to short-term memory. See the visual sensory memory, in brief, memory of an image or icon. So also called iconic memory. Here the auditory sensory memory, this is a brief memory of sound or echo, also called echoic memory. Auditory sensory memories are last a bit longer than visual. Okay. Once the sensory input comes inside in the sensory memory works, after you are paying the attention, then it goes into your short-term memory. A short-term memory function is conscious processing of information, which you can store the information in the short-term memory. After okay, in your short-term memory, the information stores approximately 18 to 30 seconds. Approximately 18 to 30 seconds. That the capacity is also for 7 items or plus or minus 5 to 9 items maximum. Then the duration is brief period of time, that comes around 30 seconds. You can store the information till that period only. After that, next one, the stored information which you are passing to long-term memory. Can you understand? Okay. Long-term memory. This function is organizes and stores the information. More passive form of storage than working memory. What is working memory here? If you are storing, tell me, Panchi. Yeah, you are manipulating the stored information is called working memory. In short-term memory, only you will store the information. When you are manipulating, that memory is called working memory. So the capacity for this long-term memory is unlimited. You can, whatever information or how many times you are taking and rehearsing it, that much of time it will store into your memory. Okay. Then the duration is throughout by some to be permanent. Once the information is passes from the sensory to working memory, it can be encoded into long-term memory. So only the needed thing is maintain rehearsal. You have to so once you receive the sensory input, that information get into your sensory memory. After that, if you pay more attention and maintain rehearsal, that goes into your short-term memory. After that, where the information goes to your long-term memory. Next slide. Okay. Next one is information processing model. This model is given by Atkinson and Shiffrin. Okay. So this processing model is a framework which is used by cognitive psychologists to explain and describe the mental process of this memory. So how the memory works. As I said, the same information gets into your sensory memory, then pass on to your next slide. See, the sensory input, which is you are receiving this type of inputs in your environment. After that, if you are paying attention, that memory goes into your short-term memory, then to your long-term memory. If the unattended information is lost here itself, when? In your sensory level. After that, unrehearsed information is also lost. When you are keep on rehearsing, you can easily retrieve the information whenever you want in your future. Next one. See, in this short-term memory and long-term memory, there are two types. Okay, in the sensory memory, you don't have any types in between. In your long-term memory, you have two types of memories: implicit memory and explicit memory. What is explicit memory? Explicit memory are the memories which you are storing and retrieving very consciously. Okay. In this explicit memory, you have two types of memory. One is episodic memory and semantic memory. What is episodic memory? You are storing the information like a episode of mega serials. Okay. For example, your birthday, your event, your birthday event or your marriage event, events that happened to you. This is episodic memory. You are storing as an episodic type. Then semantic memory. What is semantic memory? It's all based on the general knowledge, fact, when is your birthday, when is the Independence Day of India. Like this type informations are stored in this semantic type. Then the procedural memory. What is procedural memory? What type of procedures? For example, for brushing your teeth or taking bath or daily activities which you are doing. You are following a procedure for that. So that type of memories and all stored in this episodic manner. Procedural manner. Sorry. So this is called implicit memory. Implicit is unconsciously you are doing. Some insects are biting maybe your leg or maybe your face. You are not consciously you are taking away and going to the mirror. You are not at all doing anything, right? You are your hand unconsciously wiping this, isn't it? So these types of memories are unconscious memory, which is called implicit memory. Okay. Explicit memory, memory with awareness. Memory with awareness. Information can be consciously recalled, and also it is called declarative memory, which is called declarative memory. So implicit memory, memory without awareness, memory that affects behavior but cannot consciously be recollected. These types of memories are called implicit memory, and it is also called non-declarative memory. Okay. Shall I move on? Do you have any doubts in this? Okay. What is organizing the information? Arranging the information, or how you are storing the information in a way of manners. So what are all the techniques you are following to store and organize the informations which you are receiving from your environment? See, chunking and hierarchies which you are following to organize the information which you receive. So chunking refers to the process of taking individual pieces of information and grouping them into the larger units. For example, if I tell you the numbers like 4, 5, 7, 2, 3, 6, 4, you cannot easily get back, isn't it? You cannot also store the information. Is not that much easier, isn't it? So 4, 5, 7, 2, 3, 6, 4, 2. If you remember these types of techniques and using these types of chunking techniques, you can easily retrieve the information and you can easily store the information, isn't it? Can you please anyone tell your phone number? Yes, tell me. Everybody have phone, right? Everybody have number. Anyone kindly? Yeah, tell me. How you are telling your number? Yeah, by chunking method. So chunking is the method which we are using to store the information and making the pieces of information, and we are grouping the individual pieces, isn't it? So you can easily retrieve it whenever we want. Okay. So by grouping each data point into a larger whole, you can improve the amount of information you can remember. You can improve the amount of information. So when you எப்படி நான் சொல்ற வரேன்னா ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷனா தனித்தனியா வைக்கிறது ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். See 5, 4, 3, 2 அப்படி வச்சா you can limit the information. ஸோ ஒரு 6-7 டிஜிட்ஸ்க்கு மேலே நம்மளால் அந்த மாதிரி வச்சா ஞாபகம் வைக்க முடியாது. இதுவே வந்து 5423 7563 அப்படின்னா 5423 7563 டக்கு டக்குன்னு நம்ம ஈஸியாக you can chunk the information and you can get back the information easily. So in this way you are organizing the information in your brain. Okay, next one is hierarchical methods. So hierarchies, what is hierarchy? Even in your college you have hierarchies, isn't it? What type of hierarchy we have? Who is head of the college? Secretary ma'am, isn't it? After secretary ma'am, principal sir. After that, dean of academics. After that, HODs. After that, staff members. After that, you call students, isn't it? So in this way, if you are keeping the information as a story like or a hierarchical way, you can easily call back the information and you can easily store the information also. So hierarchies, a basic theory of organization of long-term memory is hierarchies. So these hierarchy theories contains that long-term memory is organized through a hierarchical arrangements of concepts. If you are arranging the concepts in the hierarchical way, you can easily get back the information and organize the information. So concept may be represent physical objects, events, attributes and attractions. Also, the concepts can be simple or complex. That is not an issue. It may be a simpler one or it may be a complex one. If you follow these types of hierarchies, you can organize the information nicely. Okay, next one. Yes. Okay. Okay, anyone have any doubt in this? You can ask me. Okay, thank you.